What do you do? Where do you go? Who do you turn to if you have a brick and mortar business and you need capital? You have maybe a restaurant, maybe you've got a pet grooming operation, maybe you have a salon and spa, whatever the case is, and you've owned it for 3 months, or maybe you've gone even up it's past your second year mark, but you need capital, you need money, you need funding. And the existing banking relationship that you have doesn't want to give it to you, or if they do, it's going to take all kinds of you jumping through all kinds of paperwork, tax returns, which you don't necessarily you have, but they don't support really the values that you need in terms of a loan. And they want to collateralize everything that you own. They want to take a second lien on your home. They want to collateralize all your equipment and business inventory and so forth. I've got a business solution for you. So stick around through this video. I'm going to show you a lending institution that's going to give you up to $500,000 unsecured without providing any tax returns. So very little paperwork, if any, unsecured line of credit, up to $500,000 is going to solve all your problems. So let's kick off this rodeo right now. Hi, folks. I'm Kevin Fagan. I'm the Mortgage Patriot on your side here in Central Texas, nestled in the hill country above San Antonio, serving proud Texans and great Americans all over this country. So before I get into this great content, if you would like and subscribe below, it really helps me and it helps you as I provide more and more content on the YouTube channel. And I'm really building it for the purposes of educating the Patriot Nation, as I call it, with matters of personal investing, with real estate, residential mortgage financing, and now small business loans and operations. So the content of this video is going to be unique in terms of helping small businesses acquire loans that they may not otherwise be able to get with their traditional banking. So let's really get into the content right now. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of the program and why it is necessary and what niche it fills. And we'll talk about what types of businesses this program will cover, because it doesn't cover every type of business. So we'll show you the businesses it does cover, the businesses that is not allowable, and we'll talk about the use of funds, because of course you can't just use the funds willy-nilly. And so we'll talk about the use of funds, and we'll also, lastly, we'll talk about a link or how you can go through me or a link that I can provide for you to access this program and get an answer and a soft approval within about 24 hours. So you can literally know within 24 hours or less if you have approved line of credit with this program. So a heck of a deal. Let's look at that right now. So if you're a small business owner and you have a physical space, a brick and mortar operation, in other words, you're not operating out of your home, and let's say you have automotive parts and repair service, or you have a flower shop, or I even have friends that bought a fish market about 5 years ago. All of those operations and more, of course, have found out that the banks are not interested at all, seemingly, to lend to them anymore. That's because they've gotten too big. The community bank's been kind of squeezed out of the picture. Credit unions now maybe are taking over that function to an extent, but they're not even lending a lot of times, especially for restaurateurs and stuff like that. And as COVID hit, of course, a couple of years ago, it devastated the small business operator. And so that's made it just that much harder. So that's been the problem. And if you try to access traditional banking means, traditional banking financing, that's been a big slap in the face. And if they have said, hey, we'll lend you X amount of money, it comes with all the caveats associated with traditional banking, which are, massive paperwork, tax returns, and certainly collateralized efforts on everything. In other words, they're going to collateralize your inventory. They're going to take liens against potentially your own personal property. They're going to take liens against the property that you own for your business. Everything kind of gets under the arm of the bank itself. So here is a way to avoid all that. You have unsecured funds, as we've said before, unsecured up to $500,000, minimal paperwork, no taxes required. All they're going to look at is your vendor credit card statement. We're going to try to verify, they're going to verify your annual sales or your monthly sales. But let's get into first the list of companies that this program will apply for. So here's a list of some of the preferred business types that this program will extend money to. And it's not totally exhaustive, but there's quite a number of, as you can see, types of businesses here, starting from the left-hand side, automotive repair, as we talked about, services, a bakery, bookstore, bowling alleys, candy store, cheese store. If you've got a cheese store, I'm not putting you down, but I'm not sure I would be lending myself on a cheese store, but hey, I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading the market. Coffee shop, dry cleaner, florist, hardware store, ice cream and yogurt store. There, I'll put some money into that. Nail salon, nightclubs, pet grooming, restaurants, pharmacy, sporting goods store, spa. So quite a bit of things that you can. So let's show some of the types of businesses that are not allowed, just so you don't spin your wheels and think you're going to get qualified when they just will reject you flat out. So as we get into what is restricted in terms of what type of business you can have that will allow for this type of loan, is to know that this is not money for startups. In other words, if you haven't started your business or it's in the incubation period, what have you, it has to be an established business. These are not funds to start a business. You have to be in at least 3 months of operations. We're going to get into the qualifications and criteria here in a second, but just keep that in mind. Cannot be a startup use of funds. Now, let's look at some of these restricted businesses. So I go through it from the left-hand side: adult entertainment, boat dealers, new or used, precious metal sales, discount travel clubs, drug detox, no flea markets, furniture stores. That's interesting. You'd think furniture stores might be it, but I don't know. No jewelry stores. No fortune telling. Well, that knocks out a couple of friends of mine. Sorry. Just joking. And motorcycle dealers. No online auctions. Let's see here. No real estate brokers or agencies. That's interesting. No tattoo or piercing shops. No trucking companies. And the list goes on, of course. So if you're on this list, I'm sorry, but you would not qualify for this type of loan. So now that we know what types of businesses they prefer for this program and those that will not qualify, let's look at some of the qualifications or the prerequisites. And the first is it has to be a brick and mortar business, meaning you have to have an actual storefront, a physical storefront. This can't be an online business, or you can't be working out of your home. Just that simple. Number two, you really need to own and operate it for, it says a month here, but it really needs to be 3 months, because they're going to be looking for 3 months of actual sales history. And so that kind of leads into number three. Your minimal annual sales need to be about $200,000 per year or $17,000 per month. So if you're 3 months into your operations, you need to show about $17,000 on average of actual sales flow. Number four, they're going to actually have a soft pull against your credit. It's going to be an equity one bureau pull, and you need to be over a 550. So you need to be 550 or higher. And I'll show you later that you really need to have, in terms of pricing, much higher than that, but you can get in as much as a 551 or just slightly higher than that. Number five, client must have a maximum of 2 outstanding cash advances. So in other words, you can't already have more than 2 cash advances on the books, because this loan can be used to take out and to expire up to 2 outstanding cash advances that you might already have. Number six, you can qualify for $500,000, as we've talked about. I think the minimum loan amount is $25,000. Their average loan size, just so you know, from this program is about $127,000. But again, you are able to go up to $500,000. The loan term is going to be 12 to 36 months, and they don't require a review of tax returns, like we mentioned. So it's a very low doc kind of situation. All they're going to look at is the actual cash and merchant accounts that you might have for your operation. So lastly, let's talk about how you can actually submit an offer and see if you can qualify for this program. Well, it's simple. Text me at my number here or email me, and I'll send you a link. That link will be for an application to this program. It's a very streamlined application, so don't worry. All they're going to want to know is, besides your name, of course, is your business name. You're going to show proof of that maybe with a website or some other means. They're going to be looking for what your credit card operations, your merchant account, what those sales look like. They're going to be asking you how long you've been in business. They're going to do a soft pull, like we talked about, just for one trade bureau. And hopefully you'll be over that 550 we talked about. But the higher you are, in other words, if you're at 600, then you get a better interest rate. If you get at 700, even better interest rate. So that's going to be important. And they're going to find out a few other key factors. And you're going to know within 24 hours. You're going to get back a soft offer. They call it soft because they have to prove some other things. But this gets you a soft approval within 24 hours to know that you're likely qualified for this. So then you're going to turn around after that, and they're going to supply a few more documents along with your IDs, and they're going to find out if you own a home or not. They're not going to be putting a lien on your home, but it's best if you do own a home. They found that the better borrowers tend to own properties. That's all it is. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. Tell me in the comments or send me a text or send me an email for that link for application. And I'll send that out to you right away. And we'll see if we can't get some money to you right away. It's a great way to bridge from where you are now to where you want to be, or take out some bad loans, use this to cover some bad loans that you are in right now that are expiring, or just inventory needs, whatever your business requires. So again, hopefully this helps you. I'm the Mortgage Patriot on your side, and make it a great one, folks.